Yo, what's going on, guys? My name's Chuck and welcome back to the Skull Zone. Today we are going to be doing a video where I'm going to be ranking every starting quarterback from 32 to number 1. If you guys do enjoy this video and hit that like button, subscribe, I appreciate it. Again, we're trying to get to 250 subscribers before the season starts on September 4th, I believe. I think I'm right. So I would appreciate it if you guys could subscribe. That would mean a lot. And even if you just like the video and don't want to subscribe, that's fine. I would appreciate it. And comment down below if you would disagree with anything, because I would love to argue. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to be arguing, but I'll show you. I'll tell you more parts about it. Okay. Anyway, starting at 32, I got Tyler Shuck. I think even if Spencer Rattler was starting or Jake Haener, they would still be at 32. It really depends on who's starting, but realistically, it's Tyler Shuck. He's not the greatest, but then again, there's no other starting quarterback I have above him, obviously. It's hard because he's a rookie, so we don't really know how he's going to be, but he's also like 25 years old, 26 years old, I think it's 25. And also he's starting for the Saints with an injury-prone offense and a young but not the greatest offensive line. And their defense is not that great either. But maybe he'll rise by the end of the year. I will do a mid-season one later for starting quarterbacks. But, yeah. At 31, I got Joe Flacco, Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel. Whichever quarterback is going to be starting for the Browns. Unless it's Kenny Pickett, then I would put Kenny Pickett below Tyler Shuck. I don't think it's going to be Kenny Pickett. I think it's going to be Joe Flacco. And then maybe it's couple games of Dylan Gabriel, and then by the end of the season, Shedeur Sanders will be their full-time starter. That's just my prediction, but it's hard. Obviously, I saw Joe Flacco last year on the Colts when he played against the Vikings. We made him sleep like 3 times, back-to-back too. He just looked old. You know, it's not his fault, obviously, but you know, he's older. And he doesn't have a great offense to throw to. I mean, he's got Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, who are not bad receivers, but they're not, like, the greatest, obviously. An okay O-line, decent O-line. And then David Njoku, some okay running backs, 2 rookies and 1 decent powerhouse in Jerome Ford. And then Harold Fannin, if he does good. He looks good in college, obviously, but I don't know. I don't think he's going to be starting right away, but he's just older. It's just hard to rank him anywhere higher. At number 30, we got Anthony Richardson, one of the least accurate quarterbacks in NFL history, but then again, he's only played 15 games, so, you know, we'll cut him a slack, but it's just, he doesn't look NFL ready. I think he shouldn't have started right away. I think maybe Gardner Minshew last year should have played instead of Anthony Richardson, because he's clearly a project quarterback, and maybe one day he'll get the chance where he's good, and maybe this year he'll be good. I hope so. They have a really good offense outside of quarterback. Tyler Warren, Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, maybe Adonai Mitchell, Alec Pierce, Jonathan Taylor. They got a really good offense with a decent O-line and a good coach. They have the chance to make some noise. It's just, can Anthony Richardson be accurate this year? And I think Daniel Jones will probably be about the same place. Maybe 1 or 2 spots above if he was starting. Because personally, he's a more stable quarterback. You know, obviously he's not a good quarterback at all. But, like, he's more NFL ready, obviously. I don't know. Number 29, I got Justin Fields. He's not a bad quarterback. He's just not even close to being a good quarterback. I like Justin Fields. I was hoping he would have came to the Vikings last offseason before we drafted J.J. McCarthy, of course, which, you know, now I'm fine with, obviously. He looked okay when he played for the Steelers. I mean, they went 4-2, I believe, with him as a starter, but then again, their defense is top 3, not 3. But I hope he can be good. I hope he can at least connect with Garrett Wilson this year for over 1,000 yards. I think they will, but I don't know. They have a first-year head coach who's more of a defensive coach than an offensive coach. I don't know. I like Justin Fields, and I hope by the end of the season he'll be higher up, but I don't really see it. Number 28, we got the number 1 overall pick, the 72 overall Cam Ward. I'm just kidding. Obviously, I think he's a good starter. I think there's a reason he was the first overall pick. Then again, there's so many quarterbacks in this draft that were not close to being as good as him. It's hard to say, especially with the offense he has. I mean, Calvin Ridley's fine, but like Gunnar Helm, I do think Alec Manor might do something, but Tyler Lockett and Van Jefferson, not very good offense. Their O-line is okay. And Shiga Kwankwo, I think his name is, or something like that. Whatever his name is, I forget how to pronounce it, but he's a fine tight end, so they got some weapons, but I don't know how they're going to perform, especially with Brian Callahan, who's not that great of a coach. I think he'll probably be fired by the end of the season, or they'll give him one more chance because he doesn't have a great roster anyway. Number 27, I got Russell Wilson, Mr. Unlimited. I'm just kidding. No, but they got Russell Wilson on the Giants. He was okay last year. I think he definitely played well for what he had. He had George Pickens, but still, he didn't have the greatest weapons. And again, he also had Pat Freiermuth. But I think on the Giants with Malik Neighbors, I think they're going to connect for a lot. Wan'Dale Robinson, what's the other guy's name? Darius Slayton. I think they might have a good offense, but their schedule is so hard, they're not going to win that many games. Number 26, we got the Minnesota Vikings superstar quarterback. I'm just kidding. J.J. McCarthy. Obviously, he hasn't played a game, so I can't really rate him that high. But I know as a prospect, he's a pretty good prospect. Obviously, a lot of people like to hate on him, but he knows how to win. And as much as people like to hate on him, he has a great offense. Obviously, Justin Jefferson, a top 10, maybe 12 O-line. Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason, they're going to be a pretty good duo. The Thunder and Lightning duo. And Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, great offense. A really good offense, in my opinion. So it's going to be hard for J.J. McCarthy to fail, unless he's really that bad, but he knows how to win. That's all that matters. Number 25. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'm just going to do something. Let me turn off the fan so it's not annoying. But number 25, I got Michael Penix Jr. with the Falcons. I think he's in a similar situation as J.J. McCarthy. A great offense with Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Darnell Mooney, maybe Kyle Pitts. I don't know. No, but he's got a great offense. Tyler Algier and a decent O-line. He's got the offense. And I think he's going to be a pretty good quarterback, but there's a reason why people were surprised when the Falcons took him this high. Before J.J. McCarthy, by the way. They could have picked J.J. McCarthy. They could have picked Bo Nix, but they went specifically with Michael Penix, which I don't think he's a bad quarterback again, and I think the 4 games he played were fine. I think he went 2-2, but I think he's still going to have some growing pains this year, obviously, but I do think overall he'll be a really good, not really good, but a good quarterback and help the Falcons maybe even finally make the playoffs again. Maybe, not this year. I don't see it this year, but number 24, we got Bryce Young, who last year For those of you who don't know his story, his rookie year, he sucked and won 2 games. Then the next year, he sucked again, lost both 2 games, and then got benched for Andy Dalton, who played 4 games, I believe, and then got into a car crash. And after that, Bryce Young played, and he played like a good quarterback. He almost beat the Eagles, he almost beat the Chiefs with a bad defense and less weapons than he has now. Now he has Tedero McMillan, Adam Thielen, Jalen Coker, Xavier Legette, Chuba Hubbard, Rico Dowdle. Like, he has a good offense, so I think he's gonna be one of the big risers this year. But I can't put him higher, I don't think. Number 23, I got Trevor Lawrence. He did get hurt last year and played only like 7 games, I believe. Didn't look that great, but then again, now he has a better offensive coordinator / head coach now, Liam Cohen, and obviously Travis Hunter, in addition to the superstar receiver Brian Thomas Jr. They did lose Evan Ingram, but I don't think that's going to be that big of a deal. Tank Bigsby might have a good year. Depends on how he plays. He was okay he was actually pretty good last year. I do think that they will do better. They'll probably win 8-9 games, maybe even make the playoffs. I hope so for their sake. I do like Trevor Lawrence, but I hope he can succeed. Otherwise, this quarterback class just sucks. He did get a big contract, and he is, like, I believe, one of the highest paid quarterbacks right now, $55 million a year. Almost said something else. Number 22, I got Caleb Williams, who, just like JJ McCarthy, he's in a really good position to succeed. Now he has Luther Burden, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Colson Loveland, Cole Kmet, Ben Johnson at head coach. I think they have a really big chance to make some noise. But as much as Caleb Williams looked good-ish stat-wise, he wasn't the greatest quarterback. Now, I hope he is, for his sake at least. But then again, bear down, right? In a bad way, bear down. I'm not cheering for them, obviously. I'm not a Bears fan, I'm a Vikings fan. Number 21, I got the quarterback that I wanted the Vikings to draft, but he didn't. Obviously, I think a lot of Vikings fans wanted Drake May. But Drake May, he's got the offense. He's got Mike Vrabel at head coach. He has Ramondre Stevenson, Travion Henderson, Stephon Diggs, Kyle Williams, Demario Douglas, Hunter Henry, a good O-line. He has a big chance to be one of the big rises as well this year. And I hope so. I think I like Drake May a lot. He's more of a Josh Allen type quarterback where he can run when he has to. Number 20, I got ex-Minnesota Viking Sam Darnold. Now, obviously, when you see Sam Darnold with a bad O-line, you saw that last year. He sucks, especially under pressure. But outside of if he has a good O-line, or at least a lot more time, then he can make some big plays like he did in Minnesota. But that could have just been coach, because he definitely downgraded at coach. He downgraded at O-line. He downgraded at weapons. Pretty much everything that he needs to be a good quarterback just downgraded. Obviously, I don't think Mike McDonald's a bad coach, but he's definitely not Kevin O'Connell. JSN Cooper Kupp are definitely not Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. It's hard to put Sam Darnold high, but he doesn't have as great of a team as he does in the Vikings. Next up, 19, we got old man Aaron Rodgers. He's definitely not prime Aaron Rodgers for sure, but he's not a bad quarterback. He's older than Joe Flacco, but playing better than Joe Flacco. He has a good O-line, or a good offense, good O-line. I would say, okay offense when it comes to weapons, but like he's not the greatest. Number 18, I got Bo Nix. Bo Nix was a great quarterback last year, specifically last year, obviously. But it's just all these quarterbacks are still a lot better than him, in my opinion. And, you know, I like him. I think he's going to have a better year. But number 17, I got Tua Tagovailoa. I think he could look like his 2022 self as long as his O-line is subpar and able to keep him up so he's not dying again. But, I mean, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Devon Achane, Darren Waller, I guess. I just can't put him higher, though, because of what I saw last year in the 2 games that he played. He did look okay. He did look good, actually, when he came back from his injury, but I don't know. Number 16, I got Kyler Murray. He looked really good, and he's finally, like, fully healthy coming into another season. I think they're going to do good this year. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to have a better year. Trey McBride's obviously a stud. Michael Wilson apparently got hurt from what I saw. I don't know for sure. James Conner, year 2. Their O-line is probably about the same as last year. I don't think their O-line was bad. A lot of people like to hate on Kyler Murray, but I think he's actually a pretty good quarterback. Same with this other quarterback at number 15, Dak Prescott. Now, Dak Prescott has a better offense than he's had in the past 3-4 years. George Pickens, obviously a worse O-line with Zach Martin retiring. And I think Tyler Guyton is going to miss a couple games, so that's going to suck. But George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, probably a top 5 wide receiver duo. Worse running backs than he's had before, especially with Rico Dowdle gone. But I do think outside of this Micah Parsons drama that's going on, obviously, I do think, I'm assuming Micah Parsons is going to sign with the Cowboys. My bad. Sorry, my mind is blanking. Number 14, I got Geno Smith. If you look at his offense, he's got a really good offense. Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly, Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty, Jack Betch, Trey Tucker. That's what I meant to say. I think he's probably got 2 more years for sure. But I would say that this offense is worse than we had in the last couple of years, for sure. But, you know, Pete Carroll's going to find a way to get 7+ wins for sure. Number 13, I got Brock Purdy. I think he's the highest paid quarterback. No, I don't think he's the highest paid quarterback. Never mind. But Brock Purdy, you know, maybe not the best offense he's had before, but I do think, you know, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey looking good. Brandon Ayuk hopefully will return. Juwan Jennings, hopefully he gets paid before the season starts so he's happy and motivated. Ricky Pearsall's not a bad receiver. Its offensive line is definitely not as good as it's been the last couple of years, but I do think they're still going to do well. And specifically Brock Purdy, who actually played pretty good last year, for all things considered, with everyone being hurt and a bad Deebo Samuel. Number 12, people are going to hate me on this, but Jalen Hurts. Now, specifically just looking at his stats, he's a good quarterback, don't get me wrong. He's a good quarterback, but, you know, top 12 is still a good quarterback. A lot of people just think he's top 5 or even more, which is absurd. Any quarterback in the system of what Jalen Hurts has now would be MVP. Any of these quarterbacks above him, sorry, let me rephrase that. Even Brock Purdy would probably do better. Obviously, I hate using this term, but if we're going to use the term correctly, Jalen Hurts is a system quarterback. Now, if you want to hate on me, that's fine. You know, I could agree with you on putting him higher, but number 11, I got Jordan Love. Jordan Love, he was okay last year for what he had. At least he got hurt a couple games. Week 1 started rough, but I do think he is a good quarterback. I wouldn't say he's a top 10. I think he's like right out of the top 10. Maybe this year he can bump up to top 10. It's just, I know all these quarterbacks above him are way better than him. I wouldn't say way better, obviously, but better than him. Which, number 10, another controversial position, but Jaden Daniels. He's a rookie. Well, now he's not. He's a year 2 quarterback. I can't put him in the top 5 or 6. I almost always put him at 6, but, or 6 or 7. 6, 7. I almost always put him at 6 or 7, but I just think these other quarterbacks right now are better. I think Jaden Daniels had a great year, obviously, but I just think these quarterbacks above him are way better. Again, not way better, but better. Starting with number 9, I got Matthew Stafford. Stafford has a great offense. He's a good quarterback. He's obviously not a good runner, but he's a really good passer. I do think he is going to have a great year this year, probably a top 5 quarterback year, because Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, Tyler Higbee, pretty good O-line. Well, I wouldn't say pretty good, but decent O-line. Number 8, I got Jared Goff. Jared Goff. He had a good year last year besides that playoff game and besides that game against the Texans, but he still managed to win. He has a great offense. He's a good quarterback overall. I could argue higher, but number 7, I got CJ Stroud, who a lot of people like to say he had a bad year. He had a sophomore slump. Well, it's hard to be a top 5 quarterback when every single one of your receivers get hurt and your O-line can't block against 2-year-olds. But I do think overall he's going to have a great year this year. Whether his team succeeds or not, I don't know. They're definitely not going to be like last year where I thought they were going to go to the Super Bowl. I really thought that. Number 6, I got Baker Mayfield, who I almost always want to put him in the top 5. But I think after this season, he's going to be a top 5 quarterback for me. Especially if number 5, Justin Herbert, does worse than Baker Mayfield this year. I think Justin Herbert just had a great year this year, besides that 4 interceptions in the playoffs, but that's not really his fault. Only half of them were. But 2 interceptions are still bad in a playoff game. But it was against an elite defensive line, especially last year. Number 4, I got Patrick Mahomes. Now, with these top 4, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson, I personally know that that's the top 4, and if you replace any of those with a different quarterback, you're wrong, but you can put them in any order, and I would be okay with that. You could put Patrick Mahomes at 1, Joe Burrow at 1, Lamar Jackson at 1, Josh Allen at 1, Josh Allen at 4. I think they're all pretty much the same type of quarterback, except it's like a preference, if you get what I'm saying. I just think personally Lamar Jackson's the best out of these 4, but again, they're pretty much the same type of quarterback. Anyway, if you guys enjoy this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Peace.